Hello everyone, what is going on? Guardian here, and we're gonna be doing Kasane side of Scarlet Nexus. Obviously the last time we played this game we beat Yuito's side of the story. So now we're gonna play Kasane's. And I've been holding back on playing because I didn't want, as much as I wanted to play Kasane's, I wanted to hold back. Because especially in the beginning I promised I was gonna play from scratch, and well, unfortunately I screwed up that promise, so we're gonna be doing Kasane's side now. With the story, Kasane, of course. Yeah. It's been a long time, actually, since I played Kasane, actually. Because the last time I played her was in the demo. That was the last time I played her. And I actually remember, like, I played her a few times, but pretty much a majority of the time, I played, Yuito in the demo. Because I just enjoyed him a little bit more than Kasane. Of course, we know that's supposed to be future Yuito because obviously in the other campaign they explained that, so. Yeah, it's been a while since I played with Kasane. I know with her, she doesn't use a sword, she uses the, like, I forgot what they're called, but they're like these things that fly around her, is what it is. It's like these tiny little knives.
Yoshi, 貴様はいけそうだな。この適正試験で貴様の配属正体が決まる。しっかりやれ。
了解。
カサネランドール本人の確認。これより怪異討伐軍入隊適正試験を開始する。怪異をすべて討伐せよ。
Move with the thumbstick and control camera with the right thumbstick. Alright. Well, we pretty much know all this stuff, so. But yeah, it's been a while since I played with Kasane. I know her, she doesn't use a sword, she uses like these flying knives is what she uses. Yeah, I wanted to get back into this game because I want to finish this game. It's been way too long since I played this. Lock onto an enemy with the right thumbstick and press engage. Yeah, we know that. They actually added in a lot. Another reason why I want to get back, because they added in a lot of new things. Especially they added a virtual mode, they call it. I think that's what, like a virtual challenge mode is what it is. And it's basically it's a challenge mode is what it is. It's pretty cool. It's actually a really cool way to level up your character and stuff. Using her power psychokinesis. Attack with objects and by attacking with the multiple knives she has equipped. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, she uses like knives. Forming attacks with squares, late charges of the psychokinesis gauge, yeah. Yeah, she uses like knives is what she uses. So she doesn't necessarily, so she can attack from a farther range is what she can do. And then her triangle, instead of doing a kind of like a forward slash, she does this like kind of like evasion kind of attack, which is pretty cool. And I love this tutorial so much. But really, this soundtrack in general, I just really like. The only thing I don't really like, I mean, I'm sure maybe with upgrades her combo will get better, but I feel like she's a little bit harder to do combos with. Usually when I try to finish them off with like a whole triangle attack, I usually miss. But maybe this time I'll do better. Kasane's special attack using triangle, you can activate a backstep attack where Kasane makes a weapon attack while stepping back to a suitable distance. The gauge will recover greatly. Rush follow-up attack, press a weapon attack with square when landing a psychokinesis attack, then the follow-up with a rush attack. Okay. Psychokinesis follow-up attack, press square or triangle, and then perform psychokinesis follow-up by holding R2. Learning the rush follow-up attack and psychokinesis follow-up increases the amount of times they can be used consecutively. Chain together a rush with a psychokinesis follow-up, and then do another rush will allow you to do heavy damage. Do a tutorial again from the help screen in the library of the main menu. Alright. Yeah, obviously since we're doing, of course,
よし、
running
こ
from
れで訓練過程は全て終了した。明日からは貴様も海抜軍の正式隊員となる。その前に訓練生には24時間の自由行動が与えられる。明日の正式着任を前に体を休めておけ。
了解しました。
Yeah, it's funny because the other reason why I wanted to get back into this game is because because last night I watched Ghost in the Shell, the original Ghost in the Shell, the 1995 film, and I really enjoyed it. It was really good. I really liked the story, especially the animation. That film's animation still looks really good. This is my first time watching it, so but yeah, the animation's really good. Still holds up years later. Still holds up. Still looks a lot better than a lot of animated films nowadays.
かさねちゃん、お疲れ様。試験どうだった？
私はいつも通りよ。ナオミお姉ちゃんは？
かさねちゃんに注意されていたことに気をつけたら、実践用のサスにも耐えられたの。ありがとう。
お姉ちゃんの潜在能力はすごいのよ。もっと自信を持つべきだわ。
でもよかった。かさねちゃんがいつも通りで、今朝またあの夢を見たって言ってたから。
レッドストリングスの
夢？うん。子供の頃からずっと見てるよね。
そうね。
レッドストリングスから手を離さないで。
かさねちゃんの超能力と関係があるのかな？
海抜軍で私の超能力を解析した情報を見た限りではあまり関係はないみたいだけれど、わからないことを悩んでいても仕方ないわ。それより私はお姉ちゃんのことが心配。同じ隊に配属されるかしら。
こればっかりはわからないな。でも私もかさねちゃんと同じ隊だと嬉しい。かさねちゃんって誤解されやすいタイプだから、そばで見ていないと心配なんだもの。
それはこっちのセリフだわ。お姉ちゃんはドジだから私が守らないと。
ひどいよかさねち
ゃん。あ、そうだ。この後スメラギ漁に行くんじゃなかった？あ、
そうそう。今バッキーちゃんのコラボやってるんだ。おみくじ引くとアクキーもらえるの。楽しみだな。
お姉ちゃんって本当にバッキーちゃんが好きなのね。
だって可愛いじゃない。ほら早く行こう。
Receive missions from various people to progress in the story. Reply to brain messages or messages reply to. Minimap. Yeah.
ブレイントークンを使うようになって。
Added chums to the library. Complete through this.
こればかりになってる気がするわ。他人に聞かれる心配もないし、周りが騒がしくてもよく聞こえるから便利よね。そうそう。たまに独り言までブレイントークで言っちゃうの。もし聞こえても笑わないでね。
Get shop. You can add or buy battle items and equipment at shops. Let's go with the will. Let's go with that. Kind of cool. And then, go with power. Shit. Oh no, I can't wear. Oh wait, that's the one I already have. Just have all this stuff. That's cool. This. Let me pick up this stuff here. But yeah, what I was saying before, the reason why I wanted to get back in this game was also because I played, or not played, I watched the original Ghost in the Shell, and it was really good. I really liked it. I really liked it. Good. Yo, Armando, what's going on? It's good to see you, finally. Yeah, I know, it's been a while. Especially for this game, it's been a while. I think it's been, like, what, 2 months, I think, since I last played this game? Yeah, it's been a while, yeah. But, it's good to see you. How you doing? I'm glad to see you here. But, I'm doing good. Just playing some Scarlet Nexus. It's because, I was mentioning it before, it's because the reason why was because I watched Ghost in the Shell last night and I really enjoyed it, so it kind of got me in the mood to play a cyberpunk game. So I figured, let's play some Scarlet Nexus. We haven't played that in a while because I have to finish Kasane's story, and I really want to get back into this game. So, you know, I think it's about time that we get back into this. And in case you're wondering, no, this is not a New Game Plus walkthrough. Unlike a lot of my other walkthroughs, this is not New Game Plus. This is from scratch. And I made sure to hold back on playing Kasane's, so that way I can get into this, you know, blind as possible. I mean, there's still gonna be... I mean, I definitely am expecting certain things, because obviously we did beat Yuito, so we know certain things are gonna happen, but we don't know everything that's gonna happen, though. But, yeah, so I saw Ghost in the Shell, I really liked it, and then I just felt like playing, I felt like playing this. I felt like streaming this, especially because it's been such a while since I've played. Doing good, I'm happy because I'm seeing the game again, and I'm here, you know, live. Thank you, man, I really appreciate that. Yeah, this game definitely is good. It's definitely a really good game, definitely. And what's cool is, I think I mentioned this to you, Armando. I think I mentioned it to you. They added in a challenge mode, so that means we don't have to just grind and stuff like that. Not in a YouTube video, but on stream. This is the, I remember, this is the, first time you actually are here live. Which I definitely, you know, I don't mind you just watching my videos. That's definitely cool too, you know. Whether you're watching my streams or you're watching my videos, either way, I'm cool with, you know. As long as you're enjoying the content, you know, that's all that matters in the end. Doesn't matter how you're watching it, you know. Whether you're here or you're watching it, you know, on YouTube, you know, I'm definitely cool either way. Challenge mode equals more fun. Yeah, and what's cool is it's a really good way to level up your characters. It's a good way to level your characters because you actually get some good items. So that's definitely good. I'm definitely glad they added in that mode. Absolutely. We don't have to just go through the same dungeons over and over again. You can actually, like, you know, do something different. Plus, also, it means we can get a lot more action in, instead of just, you know, watching, you know, cutscenes like 90% of the time. Not that I mind these cutscenes. It's just that, you know, I'll admit, like, there is a part that I'm like, you know, I kind of want to get into the action.
ちょっとかっこいいなって。
そう？二人とも海抜軍の隊員みたいね。入隊したら話す機会もあるんじゃない？
そうかな。そうだといいな。ねえ、バッキーちゃんのアクキーももらったし、どこかでお茶していこうよ。
ええ、どこかカフェにでも入りましょうか。
Baki Kitchen. Thanks, bro. I appreciate those words. One, I want to cheer you on the live stream, like Soma, Pika, and yeah, thank you, Amanda. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Yeah, thank you so much. Like I said, no matter how you're watching this, whether it's on stream or you're just watching it through YouTube, either way, all that matters is you enjoy the content. That's all that matters. As long as you're enjoying the content, I don't care which way you watch it, because after all, if you don't like it, then, you know, kind of makes, you know, then you're not really gonna watch it either way. So it's definitely important that the content is, like, you know, good, and, you know, it's definitely important that you guys are enjoying this content, you know? After all, that's why I want to do this. Like, it's definitely why I want to stream more, like, unknown games, because that's why I don't usually stream, like, popular games. It's not because that they're simply popular and that's it. It's more because of that, you know, I want you guys to see, like, these more unknown titles. That's why, you know? That's definitely another major reason why I want to, like, I want to stream, is because so you can see these titles that are kind of more under the radar, you know? I mean, obviously there are some exceptions, like Yakuza. I mean, that's definitely a more well-known series. And then, you know, that's another, series that I also... Well, Final Fantasy, that's another one that I streamed some of, and of course that's another big one. But definitely I want to stream more unknown titles that you guys have aren't too that you aren't too familiar with, you know. That's definitely what I want to stream more of, you know. I mean, obviously I don't have a problem with streaming a game that's obviously popular, you know. If it's fun, then I'll definitely stream it, you know. Oh, and like Spider-Man, that's another big game too that I also stream. But definitely I would definitely like to I want to stream a lot more under the radar kind of, you know, titles, you know. So, but yeah, you know, I really appreciate you guys, you know, enjoying this content, you know, enjoying these streams and the videos, you know. I really appreciate it a lot. I really do. You know, and even if none of you, like, you know, donate me anything, that does not matter. You know, as long as you're here enjoying this, that's all that matters, really. As long as you're enjoying this content, that's all that matters. I simply want you guys to just enjoy watching these. That's all I really need, you know. I'm never gonna tell you, like, oh, you know, I need, you know, because another thing too is that, like, I mentioned, like, times where I'm like, oh man, like, you know, I wish I had, like, this or comes up, but I never really want to say, like, oh, I want you guys to, like, donate me this, and, you know, like, I want you guys to donate this amount so that way I can get this. I don't know, I don't know, like, I know there are people that do that, and so that's not necessarily a bad thing, but, I don't know, I don't really want to do that, to be honest. You know, I much prefer it that you guys want to, like, donate on your own, like, it's your choice, you know. I never want to feel like I'm trying to, like, the right word. A dilemma, I think, is the right word. I never want to do that, you know. Obviously, of course, if you guys ever want to, of course, you know, that's definitely fine, of course. As long as you're okay with it, you know. You know. Sounds good to... checking out games that aren't that known. Check out. Yeah, definitely. That's definitely a major reason why I want to, like, stream and stuff. I'll definitely stream some games that definitely are well known, of course, like Final Fantasy. But definitely I want to stream a lot more unknown titles. In the hopes that, you know, it'll get the game a little more attention, you know. Even if I'm not a big channel, at least if it gets the game a little bit more attention, you know, then I'm definitely fine with that, you know. And also in the hopes that you guys will enjoy these games too, you know. It's another game I also would love to see you guys also is to see you try out these games and enjoy them, you know. So that's another major reason why I want to stream these more unknown titles. Is the hope that maybe you'll be interested in checking them out, and maybe you might like them too. And that's always great, of course, you know.
セプテントリオンの人たちって本当に強いんだね。
テレビを見ている場合じゃないわよ。早く避難しないと。お姉ちゃん、危険だわ。
Tell me, man, I was running this one. Started streaming it earlier in the year. Yeah, it's what was I think I started streaming this in I think June is when June or was it July? I'm trying to remember when I streamed this. I think it was July because I did get it pretty close to its release date, so I think it's around there. I think is when I started streaming. But yeah, I think it was July is when I started streaming this game, and it's been, and I think in July. Yeah, okay, so yeah, it was July. Okay, yeah, 5 months ago. Sheesh, I can't believe it's been that long. First started streaming. I'm sure if I didn't have to worry, if I was like living on my own or something, definitely I would have like finished this game a while ago. Really, I'd be doing a lot more streaming actually. Item menu, spin on the bottom left, press left switch, and then down to the item. You know, that's one thing I will say. I really wish like I could like if I had my own place, I definitely would be streaming a lot more than I do now. Because like I mentioned before, I do of course live with my parents, so you know, so if I definitely have my own, if I had my own place, I would definitely be doing a lot more streaming. I mean, I am trying to stream more because usually I tend to not stream when I think I did mention this before, where the reason why I don't usually stream when my brother's around is because we tend to play a lot, so but I'm trying to stream a lot more even when he's around. I'll like usually stream when he's playing with his friends. That's what I'll do. I'll try and stream when he's playing with his friends. So that way, at least that gives me, at least so that way I can stream just a little bit more, you know. But definitely, if I had my own place, definitely I'd be streaming way more. I'd practically be streaming every day, actually. And that definitely would bring a lot more like content to the to both the Twitch channel and the YouTube channel.
10秒後に怪異が。
ええ、あの二人やられるわね。
あっ。
お姉ちゃんは飛ばされたやつを回収して、私はあの怪異を叩く。
了解。
潰れろ！
民間人じゃないわよね。
あれ、君。
あなた海抜軍よね。
あ、いや、俺は訓練生で。
そう、どちらにしても目的は同じね。
目的って。
あなたバカ。
は？
し、来るわよ。
え、何が？
行くわよ。
君も海抜軍だよね。ブレイトークできるんだし。
状況分かってる。怪異を倒してからにして。
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have that, I don't have the recovery upgrade, so when I get knocked down, I'm, like, stuck there for a bit, unfortunately. Oh, man. I got away just in time. Perfect dodge. If you dodge an enemy attack, just right time to perform a perfect dodge. Right. There we go.
お疲れ様。これでこの辺りの怪異反応は全部潰したと思うけど。
そうね。
かさねちゃん、さっきの男の子救助してきたわよ。
ナギ、無事だったか。ああ、このナオミちゃんに助けられてな。くっそ、かっこ悪い。
怪我がなくてよかった。
お姉ちゃん、ありがとう。
え、二人は姉妹なの？
ああ、二人とも俺らと同じ海抜軍の訓練生なんだって。改めまして、俺はナギカーマン。こっちはユイとスメラギ。
私はナオミです。ナオミ・ランドール。この子は妹の
カサネ・ランドール。
君たちか。余計なことをしてくれたのは。
スカーレット・ガーディアンの活躍によって怪異は一掃された模様です。
何？
竜神区での怪異討伐戦、見事な勝利でしたね。
え、
もしかしてこれって勝利インタビュー？
そうですよ。今のお気持ちは？
誰？ここならゆっくりお話ができそうですね。
一体何がどうなって？
僕はルカ・トラバースです。
セプテントリオン訓6等のルカ・トラバースさん？
そんな風に呼ばれるとちょっと恥ずかしいんですけど、でもその通りです。あなたたちは訓練生ですね。身元を紹介しますから、パーソナルポートを開放してください。ありがとう。素直なのはいいことです。4人とも海抜軍訓練生で間違いないですね。ダメですよ、訓練生が勝手に怪異と戦闘するなんて。
すみません。
空白地帯に怪異の侵入を許し、市民に被害を出しかけたのは怪異討伐軍側の落ち度では？
かさねちゃん、そんなこと言ったらダメよ。
その通りですけれど、なかなか手厳しいですね。カサネ・ランドール訓練生。 各自言いたいことはあるでしょうが、ひとまず海討伐軍本部へ出頭してください。マスコミとの接触は避けるように。いいですね。
了解しました。あれは。
ああ、戦死者です。警備をしていた海抜軍が2名やられました。資格検閲されていると思いますが、無理に見ない方がいいですよ。
なんでですか？
怪異は人間の脳を食べるから。
ええ、首なし死体を見るのは精神衛生上あまりよろしくないでしょう。
想像しちゃったよ。テレポートかアポートで運べばいいのに。
遺体安置所までは距離が遠すぎますし、超
Jasper
能
just
力も
did
万能で
that.
はありません。ちょうどいいから少し話しておきましょう
We
か。
all know why those others eat human brains. Because secretly, we have KFC inside of us, that's why.
ただ
They want that delicious
それぞれの
KFC
超能力には個性
inside
と
of
特
us.
性があります。超能力の種類はもとより強さや弱さも人それぞれだ。それを軍隊として運用するためにはデバイスにも頼るし、脳への負荷も減らす必要があります。ですから超能力を使わなくてもでき
Look
る
how
ことが
corrupted them.
優先度の低いものは人の
They
手を
come
使
from
っ
the
て行
gout
うんですよ。
belt.
はい、すみません。
では僕はこれで失礼しますね。
私たちも怪異に
I really hope this game gets a sequel. I really hope. I don't know how this game, I think it sold pretty well, I think.
567機だろ。
I don't know, because they haven't really updated the sales figures for this game, but I think it sold pretty well. I don't think it sold as much as Tales. I think Tales of Arise definitely has
お姉ちゃん
more
のことは私が守る。
sales compared to this game, but I think this game did pretty good.
それじゃあゆいとさん、なぎさん、失礼します。
And speaking of sequels, I also hope that Code Vein also gets one too.
本部に行ってもよ
So
かっ
that's
たの
another
に。
fun one. That one sold pretty well too. It sold like 2 million, so I think that one has a chance of
厄
getting a
介事しか
sequel,
持ち込まなそうだもの。
which I do hope
あまり関わら
happen.
ない方がいいわ。
だけど、
もしかしてあのユイトってやつが気になるの？
ほら、スメラギ漁で見かけた時からちょっとかっこいいかなって思ってたから。
そう。じゃああの男がどんなやつか素性を調べておくから、それまであまり接触しないように。
素性って、ゆいとさん、スメラギ家の人間でしょ？
スメラギ家？
ほら、評議会議長の。
ああ、評議会議長の息子なのね。なら調べやすいわ。
かさねちゃん。
いいの。お姉ちゃんは少し抜けている
Check
と
out
こ
the
ろがあるから、
top sold
私に
just
任せて。
there.
さあ、
Let me check real quick on how many this game sold.
かさねちゃん、待って。髪飾りが曲がってる。直してあげるね。これでいいかな？
ありがとう。
こちらこそありがとうね。いつもつけてくれてて。かさねちゃんの趣味じゃないと思うのに。
お姉ちゃんが作ってくれたものなら何でも好きになるわ。それにこれは姉妹の証でしょ？
姉妹でお揃い。ずっと大事にしてくれると嬉しいな。
Alright, level up. Gain brain points when you level up. You can learn various skills by spending BP on the brain maps. The PlayStation 4 version sold 20,160 physical copies during its first week on sale in Japan, making it the fifth highest selling game of the week, I imagine, is what the rest says. That shows you what skills you've learned. So, like, yeah, like 20,000, so like 20,000. Much. Increased damage, power up, attack plus 5%, increased damage for psychokinesis. Let's go with the double jump. Go with that. Rebound. We definitely need that. Rebound's a good one to have. Telekinesis finished. Oh wow, so you can get this one pretty early actually. Aerial dash. Dash. Yeah, her skill tree is different. Like different. Power. Plug in. Or should I say yes? Oh, that's another one. Also, actually. That's another one to get. Me. Attack up. Midair. Power up. I think what I'll get. Well, this one's 2, so probably if we level up, we're only gonna get 1, I think. So I think what I'll get is doesn't look bad for me when it comes to sales, even the reviews given scores. Yeah, it's pretty much it's definitely got like a positive reception, definitely. I think it sold pretty well, even if we don't know the exact, like they haven't really brought an update to the sales. I think it's sold pretty well. I don't think it sold as much as Tales of Arise, but I think it sold pretty well. I mean, they are giving us content, so I think definitely this game is doing pretty well. There's anything in the shop? Nothing. Yeah, let's just do that for now. Hopefully there's a sequel. It has... Yeah, I agree, definitely. I do hope this gets a sequel, absolutely. There's definitely a lot of, like, potential sequel, absolutely. This game is definitely one of the more, like, underrated titles, I would say. I mean, surprisingly, this game actually got nominated at the Game Awards. It got nominated for Best RPG, which was surprising. Of course, Tales of Arise, which is fine, definitely, because I really like Tales of Arise. I'm really enjoying that game so far, so I'm definitely not against it. Though it is a shame, unfortunately, that Lost Searcher didn't get a nomination. But I imagine because it's technically not an RPG, that's why. The game should at least have gone. The game should have at least been nominated for soundtrack, at least. Life can be full of surprises, has some mechanics over an RPG, so it's 50-50. Yeah, I don't want to say it's like a full-on RPG, obviously. But yeah, it's like 50-50, yeah. Because there are items to like increase your stats and stuff like that. But it all comes down to your skill, so. I still can't believe Phil has watched that game. I mean, I know he's like doing all of the side quests, but like still, it's like longer than. Oh yeah, did you see? I don't know if you saw that he had to play as I forgot her name. The glasses. But when he had to play her again, he was like, you know, he was like, oh, like that and stuff. I'm like, okay, Phil, we get it. You're married, we get it. Shut up and just play the damn section. Thank God I didn't touch this one. Yeah, definitely. I'm so glad you didn't touch this. Which is funny. I remember he said that whole thing that like, oh man, like I'm really big into JRPGs, but yeah, he skipped on this, Tales of Arise, and Shin Megami Tensei 5. He skipped out on that, so not that I'm complaining. I mean, I'm glad he skipped those games. It really sucks this song's copyrighted on YouTube. That really sucks. I have to mute this song. When I put this on YouTube, I have to mute this song, which sucks. Because this is a really good song. It's actually funny because the anime, like, I haven't completely I've only watched a few episodes because that one's basically supposed to be a combination of the two stories, and I didn't want to watch it because I'm worried it might spoil like Kasane's side. So, but it's funny that the intro actually is a different song. It's not this song. I thought they would use this song in the anime, but no, it's actually a different song. But it's also pretty good too. I don't remember the name of it though, but it's pretty good too. For the song, yeah. For this song on YouTube, yeah. He's a clown, bro. He's a married clown. He can be a pain. Exactly. That whole married logic of his is so dumb. He was actually saying some stupid things about, like, oh, the cabaret clubs and all that stuff. That's a toxic culture. So I'm like, well, Phil, Japan isn't like here. It's a different culture. It's not gonna have the same exact, it's not gonna have the same lifestyle as us. He's like, oh, why do so many people go to these cabaret clubs instead of getting into a real relationship and stuff? It's like, well, no, because in Japan, lots of people work. Way too much, actually. Which really sucks, because that puts a toll on them. That's definitely one of the things about Japan that I do feel really bad for, is that they have to work so much. It's crazy. But he's all like, oh, like, like, oh, well, like, why is it they just don't get into relationships and stuff? It's like, no, because Japan, lots of people, they work a lot over there. They don't really have time for a relationship. That's why. Even here, we're having that issue too. No, it's for a different reason, because it's harder to get, like, houses and stuff. So, yeah. Not everyone can get into a relationship so easily, It's not like picking up a controller and just playing a game. It's not like that. A relationship's way more complex than playing a game. I believe that because Japan, they are the same culture. They are the same culture, but in yep, exactly. They think like Japan's the exact same thing here. It's no, far from it. There are many things that are different about Japan compared to us. Which is why all those people on like Twitter and stuff, they're talking about like, oh, like, oh, this is so, like, why are Japan doing stuff? Because it's a different culture. That's why. That's why. They're not gonna have all the same values as us. It's a different culture. Pure and simple. That's what it is. Not every culture around the world is the same as us. Obviously, that's what makes the world a unique place. That's what makes the world, really good to explore, because it's not the same. It's different. Either that or oh, Phil, you man child. Exactly. And I remember he said something in his video. He was like, oh, like, I'm looking at this from an American's perspective. I'm like, well, you shouldn't, because it's not the same, you know? You should really learn about, like, you know, the culture and stuff so you get an idea of what it is. Obviously, I'm not saying I know everything about Japan culture, of course not. I'm sure there's a lot more that I need to learn about it. But I definitely know it's nowhere the same like here in the US. Nowhere near the same. There are many things that are different about it compared to us. You know? And I don't view Japan the same way like here, because obviously it's not. It's a very different place. Of course, I'm not gonna. There's nothing wrong with that, of course. That's what makes Japan's a really interesting place, because it's not the same as here. I would honestly, actually, really, to be honest, Japanese culture really is my favorite culture, really, ever. Honestly, it's not just my favorite foreign culture; it's really my favorite culture in general, really. There's just so many things about it that are just really interesting that I also really love too. You know. Of course, Phil here making like he's like a big expert on it. I guess, but remember he grew up in the environment, just getting ahead as the country goes. That's surprising. Tries to see. Okay, so I guess there's... Yeah, that's the thing. He always views it from an like, you know, an American's perspective, you know. You know, it's like, again, I'm not saying I'm some big expert, obviously. I'm sure there's lots of things about Japan that I don't know about. But I certainly know it's nowhere the same as here.
Nani?
耳が悪いの。
そうじゃない。
ならいいわ。行きましょうか。ついてきてちょうだい。水葉川に向かうわよ。
こいつ。
あ、カサネ、ちょっと待って。
何？はるかだったかしら。
ええ、よろしく。カサネにバイアスのことで伝達があるの。連絡ミスがあったみたいでごめんね。
バイアス？
今海抜群で開発中の超能力の。
I mean, especially also that, and the other thing I also realized is when it comes to their like anime and manga, they do. I definitely prefer anime and manga compared to like Western films and stuff, especially because Japan really comes up with a lot more creative ideas and stuff, you know. Because especially when you compare like Japan surely is interesting. I'm no expert either, but I cannot convince anyone changing the culture that much. In the neck. Yeah, and I always hate those people that are always like hating on their culture and stuff because of like, oh, it's not like here because it's not to our values stuff. It's like, well, yeah, it's a different culture. Of course, they're not gonna appeal to your standards. If anything, that's actually, I actually prefer that they don't try to go to our standard. I prefer if they basically do their own thing, you know? I much prefer Japan doing its own thing than trying to be more like Western, you know? I would definitely prefer if they kept more to their roots when it comes to making their own things, you know? It's why usually when they try to like westernize and stuff, it usually ends up going poorly because it's because, you know, it's like because we've already seen tons of like Western stuff, and it's just, you know, it just blends in more. The reason why we like a lot of Japanese stuff is because it's different. It's not trying to be like Western, like, you know, like Western stuff. It's its own thing. That's why I like manga and anime a lot more than Hollywood movies and, you know, comic books and stuff, you know. Because they're definitely more focused on, you know, telling good stories instead of trying to, like, you know, shove a message in your face, which is annoying. You know, I don't really need that. I just want a good story with, you know, cool characters, and that's all I need. That's all I need.
準備ができたら向かいましょう。
And even if there's no character that looks like me, you know, or comes from the same place as me, you know, as long as the story's cool, hey, you know, I'll definitely, like, you know, I'll enjoy it. Creative people need mixing a little bit of Western stuff and their stuff, like mythology and local. Yeah, exactly. They will take some Western things, and I think definitely that's when it works best. Is, like, they do add in some Western stuff, but they do still make it their own. They don't try to just 100% copy Western stuff. They basically take certain aspects, like Cowboy Bebop, for example. World map, you can't travel during battle, location limited. Like Cowboy Bebop, for example, that one does have a lot of influence from, like, from Western films. I think was in noir and wild Western films, I think, is where it takes a lot of influence from. But still, it's its own, you know, it's still, like, you know, very, what am I looking for? It's still very Eastern influenced, you know. It's not trying to 100% copy a West, like, the West. It's still its own thing. Which is definitely, you know, that's definitely what makes it, you know, this is why, like, a lot of people don't really like the Netflix Cowboy Bebop. Because now it's just, it's too westernized now. Instead of it keeping what it was beforehand, like the anime, instead they basically westernized it to an insane degree, you know, and that ruined the characters and the story. Although really, when it comes to anime adaptations, really the West just screws them up. Which is why I do not want a live-action Black Lagoon movie or a show. I mean, could it be good? Yeah. It can certainly be good, but that's if the people that work on it respect the source material. And if they don't respect it, well, it's not going to be good. Health, plugin, billion. Look at these two, yeah. My example would be Bleach in a modern world, but with some elements of traditional Japan Soul Reapers and stuff. Once again, I'm not okay, so I guess there's still more. Yeah, but I've never read or watched Bleach, but yeah, like it is, like, I can definitely see what you're saying. Yeah, that's definitely what and I think really it comes down to just because I really like the mythology of, like, Japanese culture, especially when it comes to, like Unreal, like, you know, the different monsters and stuff. I always like that stuff. It's always been really interesting to me personally. It's certainly a big influence on my a lot of my stories. It's certainly, Japanese culture definitely plays a big part. Not in everything. Certainly there's some Western stuff that I do take in, like, I do get influenced by, especially when it comes to ancient, like, especially when it's, like, Victorian era or Greek culture, which I also really like. I would say that's, like, my second favorite culture is, like, Greek culture, because when it comes to their, to the mythology, like Zeus, Olympus, you know, I like that stuff too. That's pretty cool, you know. There's certainly Western stuff that I do enjoy a lot. Even if it's, like, you know, I don't find it as interesting as Japanese culture. There's definitely some Western, there's definitely some, like, Western culture that I definitely do really like. It was okay, in my opinion. Had some character development, but the fights with the Hollows and Soul Reapers were freaking awesome. Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Obviously, you're talking about the live action. Yeah, there is a live action Bleach, if I remember right. Yeah. I think I don't usually keep track of Bleach, so I think there was, yeah, I think there was a live action film, but I think that's the one you're talking about, right? I hope that I got it correct. Yeah. I haven't watched live action. I was talking about the Oh, okay, the anime. Okay. You were talking about the actual anime. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I never read or watched the manga or anime. I definitely heard of it. I know it's like one of the bigger like Japanese properties, like anime and manga properties. I know that. But I haven't read or watched it. I think they're gonna do another anime, right? If I remember. I think they announced that they're gonna do another season or something, if I remember. But I haven't watched the I haven't read or watched Bleach. I definitely know lots of people say it's good. But I haven't read or watched it personally. Definitely my favorite anime is Black Lagoon. That's definitely my favorite, absolutely. I remember this from the demo section. This is the level that you play for Kasane in the demo.
海抜軍が重視するのは強さだけってことだ。
強さだけって言い方はあまり好きじゃないけど、大体はそういうことね。それで質問は何かしら。
はい。まだはるかさんが到着していません。何かあったんじゃ。
はるかはうちの小隊のオペレーターなの。テレパシーで後方から支援してくれるのよ。
聞こえます？半径500キロ程度ならシステムの補助なしでテレパシーを送れるわ。ただ体力を消耗するからグループに入ってもらうわね。ナオミ、カサネ、パーソナルポートを開放して。
各班の代表はナオミと、あら、カサネなの
？You know what's actually one thing I should have on my my Discord? I should have like a music tab. That way, like if you guys want to share anything, like you want to share any cool songs that you listen to and stuff, then you can like share it there. I should do that actually. That way, like if you have any cool songs that you want to share, you can do that. Burn the Witch is the spin-off you would have heard of, and it's Bleach is not that popular these days, especially at the way it ends. Oh, what, like the ending wasn't that great? Or... There's this one manga I also really like to read. There's only 2 volumes for it, but there is a 3rd one coming out for it soon. I think I mentioned this to you before, Armando. Ryuko, it's called. I don't know if I've told you about it. I think I did. I could be wrong. But that's another cool one that I really enjoy. That's another cool one. There's only 2 volumes currently, but the guy is doing a 3rd volume. He is doing a 3rd one. It's cool. It's definitely an underrated manga, in my opinion. I recommend if you like anything like that has to do with like the Yakuza and stuff, I definitely recommend checking it out. What's the name of that one? Ryuko. R-Y-U-K-O. That's the title of the manga. It's supposed to be with like the Yakuza and stuff, and the main character, she's like part of the Yakuza. Yuko, okay. Yeah, that's how it's spelled. Yeah. Yeah, there's only 2 volumes for it currently, but the guy is doing a 3rd one. And I think it's supposed to come out either next year or the year after. It's supposed to be around there. But they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I recommend checking them out. It would be cool if that got an anime. I would love to see that again. Actually, speaking of anime, I'm pretty excited for Chainsaw Man. I read a few of the volumes. I haven't read them all, but I have read a few, and it's pretty. I really like it. It's really good. I like the characters. You know, the action's pretty crazy. The main character gives me a bit of a Travis Touchdown kind of vibe. That's really what I get from him. I definitely recommend that too, Chainsaw Man. If you haven't read that yet, definitely check it out. It's really good.
海抜軍の活動を中継する権利を盾にやりたい放題だ。うっとうしいな。まあ有名税ってやつだな。
SDS is brain-to-brain connection with virtual cable allows you to temporarily use allies' powers. Electrokinesis will have electricity, can inflict shock status when freely used.
この僕がサス接続してやってるんだ。せいぜいうまく使いこなせよ。できるものならな。討伐数プラス1だ。
すんなり片付いたわね。水での攻撃を確認したけど大丈夫だった？水浸しになると動きにくいのよね。敵は電気で攻撃してきてるわね。当たると大変よ。ビリビリして動けなくなるから。
こんなところね。
貸しにしておくぞ。
Enough electric damage will inflict the shock status. Affected characters are not. Just end the Bleach thing. The manga started great, but the anime had a bunch of filler. In the end, the anime had to end earlier. Oh, okay. So they cut it off, and the manga was still going. Oh, okay. Yeah, Claymore had that too. Where the manga was still going, but they ended it. It had like a different ending compared to the manga. Same thing with what was it? Akame got killed. That one also had a different ending than what was before.
敵は麻痺状態ね。今のうちよ。
やられたわ。次はこんなところね。
Akame got killed. That. Yeah, the manga and the anime had different endings. I obviously won't say what happened, but they had different endings. Because the anime, because what it was is that the manga was still going, so the ending different for the anime. Obviously, I won't say what happens, of course. I did watch the anime. I never read the manga, but I have watched the anime. I really liked it. It was really good. Definitely a lot of sad moments. And it definitely gave me a bit of a Game of Thrones kind of vibe, because of how, it's pretty much anyone can die, essentially. But obviously, I won't say what happens, of course, but it's basically like that, where pretty much anybody can die. There's no exceptions, pretty much.
貸しにしておくぞ。気を抜くな。
Explanation's kind of like Dagana. But I'm sorry if I butchered that name. Danganronpa. These how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I messed it up. Explanation sound like. I never played or watched the anime. I've seen. I'm trying to remember what it was. I did see some gameplay of one of them, but I forgot what it was called though. It was like in 2015. I remember I saw a little bit of a walkthrough of it. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like it had to do with these these kids that were like killing adults or something. And the main character was like a high school girl, and this other chick, she had like a second personality or something. She had like a split personality. It was something like that.
影のことを心配していたが、いい芝居だ。
Oh, okay, that's what she was. Okay. Yeah, I never played any of the games or watched the anime. I know there's like a large amount of like, there's a lot of games and like anime. I don't know if there's. I think there were manga. I think there's like a couple of manga. I definitely know there's a lot of games, and I think it's an RPG. I could be wrong because it's been a while since I've seen gameplay of it. I think it was an RPG from what I remember. Oh, stop. Okay. See what's in the shop. There probably isn't. That world is bigger, man. A bunch of stuff to check out. Yeah, I definitely know there's a lot of like content in that series. I definitely know that. There's a lot. Yeah, I'll get this. Oh yeah, it's I always like this stage. This is one of my favorite stages. Special object attack, hold L2 to consume the gauge, and attack with special objects. Alright, let me see what I can upgrade. I think I have like 2 points, I think. Oh no, I have 4 actually, okay. Let's get these 2. Get that one yet. plug in. Let's get rebound, because I don't want to take forever to get back up. Yeah, I'll get rebound definitely. Then next we can get. We could probably get Psychokinesis Finish. That's a really good one to have actually. That does a lot of damage, so I think we'll get that one next probably. Because we can't really do any brain crushes yet. We can't do that yet. So I'll hold off on that for now. Put the balance on Kasane.
工事中断後の今も重機だらけね。それと水川にかかる橋はまず攻撃の
I definitely also want to get the air dodge. I definitely want to get that too.
なかなかいいものが手に入ったわよ。
次の
That's definitely another one I need to get to here. Well, really, a lot of the upgrades I really want, of course. There's definitely a lot of upgrades that I definitely want back. 5 minutes later, Kasane, I can't dodge. I'm dodging, I can't do anything, dude!
敵は麻痺状態ね。今のうちよ。水での攻撃を確認したけど大丈夫だった？水浸しになると動きにくいだろうね。
こんなところに
Oh, and the challenges, in case you're wondering, when we do them when we arrive at the hideout. That's when we can do challenges. I think probably after this we go to the I think after this we go to the safe house, or probably we have to do like one more level and then we can go. Ah, there's an item right there. Alright. It's funny, the sound it makes when you're maxed out on an item, it sounds exactly like Metal Gear. It sounds pretty much the same sound. Speaking of Metal Gear, I really wish they would re-release the Metal Gear games on newer consoles. I mean, they did Castlevania, why not do Metal Gear?
何かいるわ。
さすが重ね。私より早く
Or one return to keep balance. That could be an...
こいつは重大怪異だわ。隊長、玄馬、目的地点に重大怪異出現。重大怪異って過去に海抜軍を殺してしまった怪異のことですよね。
Although I do forget, you can get the Metal Gear collection on the I don't think it's the whole collection. I think it's just 2 and 3, I think, if I remember. Or I think it was 2, 3, and Peace Walker is what it was. You can get them on the Xbox, because they are backwards compatible on the Xbox, so I could get it that way.
Oh, 吠えてないで。さっさと片付けるわよ。
Is a limited copy collection. I don't think there's a lot of copies for it. There's probably not a lot for it. But you can get it on the Xbox. I think it's like digitally available on the Xbox, so if you can't find it one, you can just get it that way. Although, of course, if you wanted to get it physically, I wouldn't blame you, of course. Obviously, because having the physical copy is much better. Cool, thanks. Yeah, no problem, Armando, no problem. Actually, MJ's, I haven't really been a lot of... The only ones I've been are Metal Gear Rising, well, I dodged that one. I think there's nothing to throw at it, dang it. The ones I've been were... I got covered in water, dang it. I can't run. Definitely the ones I've been in are Metal Gear Rising and Metal Gear 4, Metal Gear Solid 4. I haven't been in a lot of them. I have played... Oh, and actually, no, I did beat the first one pretty recently. I did beat that one too, so that... 4 and Rising, those are the ones I've beaten. But I haven't been a lot of... 2 was actually the first one I remember playing. I remember playing that one. I'd say it's kind of crazy how that game's themes are really, like, relevant. It's really creepy, honestly. I have to move him over to here. It's too far away. That's why I can't throw those trucks at him. He's too far away. Of course, this guy doesn't want to come over here. Okay, there we go. Civic Hood. There we go. Now I can throw it at him. There we go. MGS2 is my first one. My brother let me have the console. His console. Yeah, I remember at the time my dad was the one that had a PS2. I think that was one of the first games we actually had, along with, what was it, Simpsons Road Rage, and I think Onimusha we also got with it. I know Onimusha was one of the games we had. I remember my brother played that game. I never played it, but... Oh, and then, I think 007 Agent Under Fire we also got. That was the first video game I remember playing, was that. Agent Under Fire 007. That was like the first video game I ever played. There's definitely... It's definitely, like, funny looking back when you first play video games, because it's like that first time when you're playing with the like, well, at least to me, when you're playing with a controller and it's like you're trying to get used to the buttons, it's a different experience, and it's definitely one that you kind of miss, actually, in a way. Although, of course, Phil's still living that, because there are times where he has to, like, remind himself where the buttons are. I can't imagine your dad being like my brother. It's my baby, don't mess it up. But yeah, I remember that was one of the Agent Under Fire and MGS2, I think, were like the first games I've ever played. I wasn't too far in MGS2. I wasn't too far when I first played it. The farthest I've gone was like a little bit into the Big Shell section. Like I'll beat the tanker section, but after that, pretty much, I usually like kind of like stop there. Yeah, that game is yeah. Yeah, it's a real shame that game, well, really all of them don't have a re-release on newer consoles. on PS3 and 360, yeah, but not on like, not on PS4, Xbox One, especially Switch. Metal Gear on the Switch would be awesome. That'd be awesome. Being able to play those games on the go. Well, I mean, you could say Peace Walker was the first one to do that. Yeah, but I mean like the actual mainline games. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know about 4. I mean, they could probably bring 4, I don't know. But 5, I don't know about that. I think that would be hard to port onto the Switch. Or I don't know, maybe they could make it work. But definitely, it would be really cool if they did put it on the Switch. That'd be really cool. If only Konami would re-release them. I don't see why not. They did Castlevania. Why not do MGS? Like, I was looking at get anything. Dash. Well, we can't get the Aero Dash. I think I'll get this. This would be good to have, actually. So that way I can get out of the way. I was like Phil back in the day. I had no patience also. But that ages ago, and look at Sir, I'm pressing buttons and I die. Yeah, I remember when I first played, Agent of Fire, I didn't do that great. I was like trying to figure out like the controls. It was pretty fun. It was a pretty funny experience. Like trying to figure out the control stuff. I remember I accidentally like shot a bunch of times and I ran out of ammo, so I didn't have ammo in my pistol. Oh man, the simple times, the good old days. Yeah, the first console I actually like that was my own was the GameCube. I remember that was like the first console that was my own. Well, technically it was my dad's, and then he gave it to me as like a Christmas gift, which was definitely like one of the best Christmases I remember was that one when I got a GameCube and my own TV with a DVD player. That was a really fun time. I remember. It was really cool because it was like, oh man, now I have my own game console now. I don't have to play on anyone else's. Now I can play on my own now. That's really cool. I remember, what was it? I got a GameCube, and then my brother, he got an Xbox. He got an Xbox. And my dad had the PS2, is what it was. Had the flashback right now, and already for the 2 rows, and I choose L, which I get immediately rage. And that sounds like the best gift ever. Funny thing is, the first time I remember playing Resident Evil was actually on the PS2, actually, not the GameCube, actually. Even though that's what it first released on, the PS2 is when I first remember playing it. I'm trying to remember what was... Well, yeah, Resident Evil 4 was the first one I played, but that was on PS2 is when I first played it, but I didn't finish it. I didn't really get that far in. I think I was like too scared to play it, I think is what it was. But, yeah. I'm trying to remember what was the first couple of GameCube games that I played on the first console was the PS2 that came with Maximo Ghost to Glory and Crash and Nitro Kart. Oh, that's cool. I don't think I've heard of Maximo Ghost to Glory. I never heard of that one. I know Nitro Kart. I know about that one. I never played it, but I know about that one. That's like a sequel to Crash Team Racing. But I never heard of Maximo Ghost to Glory. I remember what was it? One of the first games on the GameCube I had was what was it? It was Sonic Adventure, or no, it was Mario Kart. Mario Kart Double Dash, I think it was called. I remember that. That was like one of the first games I had in the GameCube. And then later, then I got there was Maximo was a Capcom game and 2 installments, and it was gonna be a 3rd game, but got canned. Oh, okay. Also, it's also from Capcom. Oh, that's cool. I never heard of it, but that's cool. I remember what was it? What was it? Because there was Mario Kart, then Wave Race. That was another one I remember playing on the GameCube. I remember playing that on the GameCube. That game was pretty fun. I gotta say, that game still looks pretty good, actually. Especially the water physics. I think that game, honestly, I think that game has better water physics than Cyberpunk, actually. Because that game has some really good, like, physics. Especially when it comes to when you're hitting, like, the waves and stuff, and, like, you're in the air, and then you, like, fall back down into the water and stuff, the way how, like, the camera gets covered in water. It's really cool. It looks really cool. Because what I liked was, depending on how hard you hit the water, it will affect, like, how much water's on the camera. So if you hit a little bit, it's like a little bit of water gets on, but then when you hit it really hard, then it's like it's all covered in water. It's really cool detail. I really like that. It's a real shame we never got another Wave Race game. I never understood why. I think it'd be cool if they bought it back. At least as like a remaster. Same thing with F-Zero, which is another game I remember. I remember playing also that game too, F-Zero. That was another fun game. F-Zero GX, I should say. I remember the first time I played that was it was at my cousin's in Puerto Rico, I remember, and it was a demo disc is what it was. I can't remember what game it's from, like what the demo disc was on. It was on some game, I just don't remember which game it was, but it was a demo, and I remember I kept playing that demo over and over and over and over again. It was just so much fun. And I remember we went to a GameStop one time while we were there, and I saw the copy there, and I was like, oh, I want to get this game, and my dad got it for me, and then when I got home, I popped in immediately and just non-stop played it. It's using the cadet test, just a request. Okay. Let's call it others so much out. Okay. Let me see what this quest. Deliver to environment C. Alright, okay, I'll give it. Alright. Oh no, wait, that's right, I forgot. You give quests by just doing it from the menu. I forgot about that. There you go. That sounds cool. Got the game you wanted and you loved it. Was it like that in the demo or had some big changes that confused you? It was pretty much the same. It was pretty much the same game, essentially. Obviously, of course, the difference was that in the demo, it was just Mute City. That was the only stage you had. Of course, the full game, there were a lot more stages to play. And of course, there was also the story mode, and which, I will say this, it took me a while to realize that the other story stages, you had to use use your currency. You had to buy the other chapters to continue the story. I did not know. For the longest time, I was like, wait, the story's just one stage? That's it? I was like, wait, the story's just one stage? That's it? Isn't there supposed to be, like, more? And then much later, I realized you had to buy the other levels with your in-game currency, with the in-game currency that you earn. When you're doing raises and stuff. Though I didn't beat it because it was really hard. There were lots of... It's a really hard game. I remember it was like one of the first games I was getting frustrated by it because it gets hard. But it was still fun. It's frustrating, but you can't help but you can't put it down. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, that game. It's only one stage. Come on. Yeah, I remember at the time I was like, wait, just one stage, that's it? That's all the story is? But no, you had to actually get the other stages by getting currency and then buying them. It was definitely a weird way to do a story. It was definitely a weird way. But, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's a shame that it never got re-released. I wish they would do a remaster of it, or just a simple port of it to Switch. If they did, I would definitely get it in instant, pretty much. Fun thing was, there was supposed to be another installment, and it was supposed to be done by Citrion, I think is how you pronounce it. The guys who did the Burnout games, they were actually supposed to do an F-Zero game. But they haven't really what was it? They said that because they didn't really have any good ideas for an F-Zero game. Plus also I think because of Mario Kart also, that's selling really well, so I think that's another reason why they haven't tried to do another. But I do wish they would at least do a port just to test the waters, basically, to see if a lot of people want another one. Kind of like with Metroid. They did that Metroid remake on the 3DS, and then when they saw it was really, it sold really well, then they ended up doing Metroid Dread, and that sold really well. I think what was it, that's like one of the best selling Metroid titles, actually. So, I hope they do that for F-Zero. Oh, and actually, I forgot about Star Fox Assault. That was another one I actually remember I played a demo for also. I played it at a Walmart, I think is what I played it on. It was like it was a GameStop or a Walmart. It was one of those. No, I think it was a GameStop because Walmart says if they didn't really do the whole demo thing. That was like the, it was like GameStop stuff. Man, actually, the more I think about it, you don't see GameStop doing that anymore. The whole demo thing, I remember they used to do that. They would have a console and then you could like play games and stuff. Though I think part of that's because people mess up the controllers. I remember like some of the controllers were like get all messed up. So, but I remember that was a thing. I remember they would do that. I remember they would do that. That was a lot of fun. I remember I played the demo and I was like, man, I want to get this game. And it was a lot of fun. I never beat it. Actually, back then I didn't really beat a lot of games, actually. There was like very few games I beat in, actually. I had a lot of games, but I didn't beat a lot of them. And some games, I never understood why I got them. Like, for example, I remember one game I got for GameCube was Digimon. And looking back, I don't know why I got that game, because I never watched Digimon, so I don't know why. It was basically a case of like, well, I'll just get this game just because. But I didn't really get that far in. I honestly didn't even beat a single stage. Technically, that's like one of the first RPGs. Of course, at the time, I didn't realize that's what it was. I remember I kept getting killed in the first like stage and stuff, and I didn't really play it. I'm more even to the joysticks are messed up in the plastic covers. Oh well, people can't be such filth. Exactly. I imagine it's kids. That's why they probably like smack the controllers or something. They probably like smack the controllers and it kind of messes up the thumbsticks. I remember like what was it I remember like there was a demo for Batman Arkham Asylum and the joystick was messed up, so I basically had to like kind of wait for them to come to me and then I had to like counter them. So basically the counter was like a way to kind of move to the enemy. That's basically what it was. It was pretty funny, actually. It was pretty funny. But yeah, it was yeah. I'm trying to remember what was one of the. Well, I remember now. One of the fewest games on GameCube that I did beat, I remember, was Nickelodeon Battle for Volcano Island. I remember beating that. I actually beat that in a day, I think, actually. I think I beat that in a day, actually, that game. That was a pretty fun game, I remember. And I remember on PS2, when my dad let me have that, there was the Nicktoons Unite, I think it's called. That one I didn't beat, but I did get far in the game. I think it was, I was on, what was it, it's Fairy World? I think that was the farthest I've gone, was that level. I was pretty far in, but I didn't beat it. And then another game also that I really liked on the the GameCube was Battalion Wars. Man, I wish they would bring that back. I don't know why they haven't bought it back. They could easily do like a bundle of the two games. They could easily do that for the Switch. I definitely would love that. If they ever did a re-release on the Switch, that definitely would be awesome. I really hope they do. I really hope. That's a really fun title. But unfortunately, they haven't really. You have to play the Teen Titans game in your GameCube? No, I didn't play Teen Titans. I actually remember, what was it? I played this one Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. I forgot what it was called, but it was on GameCube. I remember I played the demo for it. I actually remember really enjoying it, but I didn't get the... I think it was because I didn't know what was it? I think it was just because I kind of forgot about it. Even though I really liked it, I kind of forgot about it, I think is what it was. But, yeah, it was yeah. And I also remember, was it Trick 2 was another one I also had on the GameCube. Obviously, of course, as a kid, I got a lot of licensed games. Was it Polar Express? That was another one I remember playing. The SpongeBob movie game, that's another one I remember playing. I think it was a lot of fun. And then, what was another game that, I also really enjoyed? I'm trying to remember. There was a lot of games. I'm sure there's ones that I probably forgot about. There definitely were some games that... Oh, and of course another one I also really enjoyed. Sonic Adventure DX. I think, what was it? I beat Sonic and Tails, I think, were the only ones I beat. But I never beat Knuckles... and then what was his name? E102, I think was his name, the one robot. And then, what was it? And then Big also I didn't finish. I hated Big's level, it was annoying. I seriously don't know why they put that stage in play. But, yeah, that was another one also that I really enjoyed too, was Sonic Adventure DX. Man, I remember my favorite stage in that game was the pinball stage. Even though there was that one trick you can do where you could just kill yourself and then go into the sewers to get easy money so you can get to the Chaos Emerald. I just like doing the pinball because it's just so much fun. Especially because of the music. I love the music in the pinball section. Especially when especially in the Knights pinball mode. I always love the Knights song. It's really good. The memories, I remember playing Kids Next Door, and there was a section cheats you can activate unlockables. I remember seeing that game, but I never played it. I remember seeing Kids Next Door, but I never played the game. And what was another game that I also really liked too was it wasn't on the GameCube, it was on the Xbox. Was Medal of Honor Frontline. Man, that game was so much fun. I also played the original Medal of Honor on the PlayStation 1. That was a really... Both of those games are really good World War II games. I miss those games. Back when World War II was World War II, instead of trying to change it up and put all this ridiculous stuff in, like nowadays. Yeah, that was... Oh man, I love Medal of Honor so much. I used to play that one with my cousin. Yeah, that game was so much fun. And I also remember playing, what was it, Medal of Honor Rising Sun. I also remember playing that too. on the the Xbox, I remember. And actually that was the like that game at like I remember because before then because at that time, because obviously this was before I got into history and stuff, so it made me it made me learn actually that like Japan was a big like player in like World War II and stuff, and that was definitely cool to find out playing that game. Was so like Japan was actually a another big faction in World War II. That's pretty cool to know. There was definitely a lot of like. Definitely Medal of Honor was great in those times. That was back when it was a really great series. Which unfortunately it's like essentially dead pretty much. Which is a shame because, you know, it used to be such a great I wanna wait till my thing is charged. There we go. But yes, and of course you also can't forget the music too in Medal of Honor, especially the first title. I actually never played what was it, Underground. I actually haven't played that one actually. I do actually want to try that one out actually I do want to try it out because I've heard that one's also really fun too. I remember there was I actually saw like this one review from G-Man Lives. It was funny, there's this one part where you fight these like Nazis in like armor. I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, what the heck? Is this Castlevania all of a sudden? It was weird. But yeah, Maytime OST, legendary, definitely legendary, absolutely. I would definitely say that's like one of the best. Like that's definitely the best soundtrack for a World War II game ever, pretty much. That game soundtrack is legendary, pretty much, absolutely. It is legendary, without a doubt. Especially the, I'm trying to remember, I forgot the name of the song itself, but I know it was the one where you're undercover in the railroad. That, oh man, I love that song so much. It was like, oh man, I love that sound so much. So good. Pretty much nowadays, the good soundtracks are pretty much Japanese games essentially. Like this, the Yakuza series especially. I would definitely say that's like the best in terms of soundtrack nowadays. Is the Yakuza series? That's definitely like the best, absolutely. But back then there definitely were a lot of like great soundtrack stuff. Especially what was it? Need for Speed 3. I remember that game. That game was really fun. We actually had that on PC, I remember. I don't remember if I think I did play it for a little bit, but my brother was the one that really played it. And it was a lot of fun, that game. I really liked it. That's to be able to Spider-Man on PS4 has a good OST. Yeah, that game had a pretty good OST. I would say that, like, a good OST is one that I'll listen to outside of the game. That's how I tend to like view a good OST, is when I'll listen to it even when I'm not playing the game. Like Spider-Man definitely has like a good soundtrack, absolutely. But it's not one I would say that I would listen to like outside of the game. Not because it's bad, more so that it's just because I think it just fits the game, that's all it is. Soundtracks that I hear non-stop. We got a PC on the Egg Fleet and Sonic Heroes. I will say, what was it, Shadow the Hedgehog? Like, even if that game isn't that great, the soundtrack in that game's really good. I love the soundtrack in that game. I really love that game's soundtrack. I think, what was it, one of my favorite songs in that game was, what was it? It was something, I'm trying to remember what it was. Something Sky, I'm trying to remember what it was called. It was the one where you had to, you were like in, it was like a bunch, it was like Eggman ships and the one, I forgot his name. The main bad guy, I forgot his name. Sky Troops, yes, that's what it was. I love that song. That's one of my favorite songs in the game. Along with the one where you fight against Eggman too. That was another good one too. Shadow the Hedgehog is underrated as hell. Yeah, like, even if it's not necessarily, like, a great game, it's definitely, like, I definitely do love the soundtrack. I think that's pretty much one thing you can say about the games is that even if they're not fun, they have an amazing soundtrack. But, yeah, Skychips is one of my favorites in Shadow. And then another, and speaking of Sonic, another game I also really loved too was Sonic Unleashed. I remember I played the PS2 version is what I played. Man, that game, so many memories. I think that was actually the, yeah, that's actually the first Sonic game I actually beat was Unleashed. That was a fun game. I really wish that, well, I don't think they will because that game has a very mixed reception, so I don't think they'll bring it back, but it is on the Xbox One. It is backwards compatible there, so that's good at least. At least I could play it there. And it is on PS Now also, but you can't download it unfortunately. You have to like play through the cloud, and it gets really laggy. But it's cool that at least it's on Xbox, so that's cool at least. I love Sonic Unleashed's soundtrack. It's a really good soundtrack also. And I will say this, like, there are people that don't like the Werehog. I actually like the Werehog stages. And I guess that's because, obviously, I like, action-based, like, hack and slash and stuff, so I think that's definitely, I mean, that was before I really got into hack and slash games, but I definitely enjoyed it a lot. It was definitely a really fun title, absolutely. Darren here's that pre-Shadow, kids wonder, what would it be if Sonic had weapons? Push out. Why are there weapons here, dude? Yeah. But yeah, Sonic Unleashed. That was another really good. I love that game a lot. Even if a lot of people don't really view it in a positive light, I really enjoy it a lot. And even the Werehog stages, I really like too. I like them a lot too. Even if it's like nowhere, like even if like, you know, like people don't really like the Werehog stages, but I really like them personally. I really enjoy them. But definitely, one of the best aspects is the soundtrack, without a doubt. Definitely one of my favorite songs in the game. Well, there's a bunch actually, but I would say my definitive favorite one is the Chunan Day stage. I forgot what it's called. Dragon something, I think. It's like Dragon something. That's one of my favorite, not just Unleashed song, like my favorite stage in Unleashed, but it's definitely like my favorite stage theme in all of Sonic, definitely. That song I listen to constantly. I really love it. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. I definitely recommend giving it a listen. If you like Sonic soundtracks, I definitely recommend listening to the soundtrack of Unleashed. Even the Werehog stages have some, it had some really good music too. The only thing I didn't really like was that the battle theme was the same. It always played the same battle theme. Which I mean, obviously in certain games it can definitely work, like Persona and stuff. But in Unleashed, I think it definitely would have been better if they just kept the song playing even when you're fighting. Or at the very least, they could just make each stage its own battle theme. They could do that too. But they just gave it like one battle theme. English was good, played with one of my friends, was awesome, but I raged at a stage where we got in top of a tower. Tower. I'm trying to think, is it the one where... was... Isn't it like London or something? I remember... I think it was supposed to be something like that. It was like supposed to be like London or something. Like, it wasn't called London, but it was clearly... It's clearly supposed to look like it. Another one I also really liked too, in terms of, was Eggman Land. But that stage was a freaking pain. As the lowdown vibes, I think it was a DLC. Oh yeah, that is true. I forgot on PS2 360 there were DLC stages. I don't know, I haven't really checked those out. I haven't really checked those DLC stages. Because I never played those versions. I've only played the PS2 version, so... But I do remember, like, one of, like, Eggman Land I remember was one of the hardest. But what's crazy is on the PS3 it's even worse, because that one it's basically like you have to do it in like one go, pretty much. If you lost all your lives, you had to start the whole thing over again. Whereas in the PS2 and Wii version, it was just, you just had to do by stage, that's it. It was still a pain though to get through, I remember.
いわゆる秘密基地ね。あ、そうだ。今日からここを強化隊のアジトにできないかしら。強化お姉様は時々とんでもないことを言うな。このセーフハウスは民間人の持ち物だぜ。構いません。ランドールのセーフハウスは腐るほどありますから。それより医療キットがありました。瀬戸さん。
But yeah, I mentioned before, like going back a bit, I mentioned before about like Need for Speed 3 and stuff. I love the soundtrack in Need for Speed 3. I highly recommend you listen to that soundtrack. If you love like electronic music, I definitely recommend it. It is really good. Need for Speed 3 soundtrack, it is so good. There are lots of great songs in that game. I mean, it's not all electronic. There are some rock tunes, of course, but definitely the electronic music is definitely like the highlight. Absolutely. Tell me about it. I don't know how I did to accomplish 100%. Thank you. Sonic games are a pain sometimes. Yeah, definitely. Definitely a pain. I remember another Sonic game I also really liked too was Sonic Rush, but I didn't really finish it. It was this one stage, I think it was Blaze or Sonic, no, I think it was Sonic is what it was, and it was this one part where you had to like go on this rock and you're supposed to like go through this wall, but every single time I hit the wall, I keep falling to my death, and I'm like wondering like what am I supposed to hit, because I keep like going up and down, and I could never figure it out. So I pretty much never finished that game. I was far in the game, I just couldn't beat that part because I didn't know what I was supposed to do. But that was another fun game too, Sonic Rush. I remember playing that a lot too. That was back when I was like a Sonic fanboy. I don't know if I mentioned this before. In those times, I was a big Sonic fanboy pretty much. I was a big Sonic fanboy. And honestly, looking back, I'm like, man, like, what the hell was wrong with me? Of course, I've grown out of that phase, obviously. Of course, I've, like, gotten out of that Sonic fanboy phase. But not that hardcore of a fanboy, I wouldn't say I was super hardcore, but I was definitely, like, You know, like I remember I can't remember what it was. It was pretty stupid what I said. That what was it? I can't remember what it was. I think it was something that, oh, I remember now. It was like the reason why people aren't liking this, like the reason why, like, what was I think it was Sonic and the Secret Rings. I think it was what it was. I was like, oh, the people, you know, like Nintendo messed up the score and stuff. That's why this game's getting bad reviews. I said something stupid like that, and looking back, I'm like, what the hell are you saying, man? Like, you need to calm down. It was so dumb. It was something like that. Jesus, yeah. Yeah, looking back, I'm like, what the hell was I saying? What the hell was I thinking saying that? Like, I go back in time and just slap myself across the face. That's what I would do, pretty much. Yeah. I would say I pretty much got out of that phase when Generations came out. I enjoyed Generations, but that was pretty much when I started to, like, sort of, like, lose interest in Sonic, I would say. I pretty much am not that big into it, essentially. I think the last time I was actually accept was Sonic Forces, but that was when I got into Yakuza, and like I was thinking of getting Forces after finishing Zero, but then I was like, you know what? I'll get Kiwami or rent Kiwami because I didn't have a job at the time, so I had GameFly is what it was. But I was like, you know what? I'll get Forces or not Forces, Kiwami. I'll get that instead. So I pretty much skipped out on Forces. Of course, eventually it did get PS Plus. It did go on PS Plus, and I did play a little bit of it, and it was cool. But I haven't really played it since. I pretty much did 2 bosses essentially. And funny enough, the first boss, I didn't even take a single hit. Actually, I didn't even get hit once. But I think that's because the game is really easy. So, you know, I think that's the main reason why. But yeah, I haven't really, you know. Although the new Sonic game, actually it looks pretty interesting. Sonic Frontiers, that actually does look pretty interesting because it's an open world Sonic game, so that definitely has potential. Now, I don't know if I'm like, I would say I'm like super, if I'm gonna be like super pumped for it, but it definitely has me interested. Though definitely I'm not as interested in Sonic games as I was before. Definitely nowhere as much. I pretty much like, you know, it's not that I don't play them, just that I'm not really as big into them. I'm definitely a lot more into the Yakuza series. That's definitely what I'm into. Compared then, you know, I'm definitely way more into Yakuza than the Sonic series, definitely. Hideout has been added. You can return your hideout. We'll recover your HP. Organize party. You can organize battle members. Alright. I was more into Sonic after playing Sonic Heroes and seeing the Sonic X with the Gotta Go Fast. Oh, yeah, I remember that too. I remember I used to watch that show. Oh, man, I remember I watched that show a lot too. Sonic X. And that's a classic right there. That's a childhood classic. I remember on, what was it? 4Kids, I think it was I would watch it on. I remember I would get up and immediately, like, go on there so I could watch it. It was really, I really liked that show. If there's one thing I really hated with the games, it was that they never adapted the comics. I remember, what was it, like during that time when I was like a Sonic fanboy, I remember I checked out the comics and I really liked it. It's a shame that it never got a video game adaptation. They did like bring some of the elements to the shows, like they bought it, like what was it, there was the Sonic the Hedgehog show, and then there was I think that was the only one that did it, actually. I can't remember if it was just called Sonic the Hedgehog or if it had, like, a subtitle to it. I think it was just Sonic the Hedgehog, I think is what it was called. That was, like, the only one that tried to, like, adapt some of the comic elements. I I never saw it, but I do know there's also Sonic Underground. That one was like, he actually had like a brother and a sister. I remember. But they haven't really like, unfortunately, they haven't really adapted the games, and unfortunately nowadays that's pretty much impossible because, well, I mean, they could adapt the modern ones, but the modern ones have changed it up. They've changed it up. Because I remember the original was like, it actually had a world. Like, it wasn't just like, it would go to like, it wasn't like a different story every time. It was a legit, like, world that is common to the Sonic world. Or Sonic universe, I should say. And there was a lot of cool characters. I remember one of my favorite characters was Scorch, I think was his name. Scorch the Hedgehog, I remember. He was one of my favorites, because obviously he was like an evil Sonic, that's why. He was an evil Sonic. And it was really cool, and I always liked him as a character. It's a shame that unfortunately it never got a VR game version. That was actually what I was hoping. Well, I don't even know why I was thinking Forza was gonna do that, because Sega doesn't really want to. They want to keep the two separate is what they want to do. They basically want to treat the comics like it's its own separate canon. Which, I mean, I understand, but if you, I wouldn't mind a game on it. And after all, I mean, it's not like Sonic's, it's not like the Sonic games have like a common canon, really. They kind of go everywhere. One game he's like on this world, then he's on this world, and it kind of goes everywhere. So, you know. But yeah.
戦闘でも日常生活でも常に外に出して持ち歩くのよ。そうしないと効果が出ないんですって。
Oh, and actually, I remember also Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. That was another fun title, I remember. That was another really fun title. I played it on the DS, is what I played it on. I didn't play it on the consoles. I had the DS version. Oh man, DS, that was another good one. Sega Lost, wait, I guess? The canon is kind of broken. Some elements get eliminated and returned. Yeah, like for example, the what was it? The Wisp? Like, they bought them in Sonic Forces, even though it's not supposed to be set on the Wisp homeworld, they bought them back. If I remember, I think, no, did they bring them in Sonic Forces? I know Generations they did, but obviously because that was taking a bunch of the games and putting them into one package, pretty much. I know that one obviously had a colors like section, so that one of course did bring the Wisp. I think, yeah, didn't Forces bring them back? I think they did bring back the Wisp, if I remember.
Kyoka, あなたはどうしてそんなに舞台のみんなに気を使ってくれるの？私はその生まれた時から身寄りがなくて。
Yeah, the Wisp do return in Forces, yeah. They do bring them back. So yeah, it's like, it kind of goes everywhere, pretty much. I mean, not that necessarily saying that, you know, like, oh, you can't just do something different. There's nothing wrong with that. If anything, that's why they can come up with all these different ideas, because it's not common, because there's nothing common. But it definitely would be nice if they were to do a game that does follow the comics.
って考えるあまり仲間を失うことに過敏になっていたのかもしれない。ごめんなさいね。私の勝手な気持ちを押し付けて重荷に感じさせてしまって。
Sorry about that. But it definitely would be nice if it definitely would be nice if they were to put the comics in, like, you know, It sounds like cigarettes. That's what happens when you have a bunch of different people doing the game. Yeah, definitely. That's another reason why there's a lot of like people going in. If I remember, Forces was made by a lot of new people, so that's why that one felt different compared to, you know. But yeah, this is why definitely like I wish like they would re-release like Sonic Adventure. I mean, well, it technically is on the PS3 and 360. I don't know if it's on PC. Is it on PC? Like on Steam? If it's not, that sucks. I wish it was. Because I know you can get it on the Xbox One. At least it's on there. But it definitely would be cool if they were to bring it to like, you know, other consoles. Well, I mean, it's also on PS4, but you have to play it through the PS Now, and you can't download it, so... I can't... No, you do have to play it through the cloud, which I don't really like, because then it gets all laggy. So, yeah. Yes, recovery speed and Guardian Vision. Also emulation. Yeah, true, I do forget you can do that too. You could emulate them too, which would be nice. My face, scenes with allies, one episode, start an episode. Okay. Bond level, deepening the bond with your allies, progressing bond episodes, giving gifts. I think can we do them yet, or no, we can't. Oh no, we can't do them yet. I think we have to do the second act, I think is what it is. When we do the second act, then we can we can do the challenges. We can't do them now, unfortunately. At the very least, we could just see what we have in the shop. We could just see there. Products. Okay, so there's like a lot of products. Okay. Yeah, let's get a couple of these. Let's get a couple of these items here. There we go. It's a good thing that PC they can emulate. That's a good thing, at least, so they don't miss out on a lot of these games and stuff. That's definitely what's great about PC, is that they can emulate games that, even if they're not released on that platform, they can still just play. They can play them just other means. I definitely would like to get a PC at some point, so that way I can play some of those games, like Silent Hill, you know. Well, really, like there's a lot of games like PS2, PS3. Of course, PS1, Xbox, a lot of titles, really. GameCube, that's another, of course. Let's... I'll give her a health boost. And then Kagero, I'll give him a force field. There you go. Is there anyone else to talk to? Let's see if there's anyone else I can bond with? I can't bond with him. Agro. Okay. I'm gonna save. I think we're gonna end the stream here, guys. I've been streaming for a while now, actually, and I'm starting to get a little tired now, but, that was definitely a good stream. That was definitely good talking to you, Armando. I really appreciate you being here. Kasane, a couple of deboned chicken, please. But, yeah, I'm gonna end the stream here, guys. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Armando, for showing up. I really appreciate you being here. It was definitely fun talking. It was definitely really fun talking to you. And definitely all of you other guys out there, I really appreciate it too. Like I said, even if you're just watching my content and that's it, You know, as long as you're enjoying it, that's all that matters. Yeah. So I'll see you guys on the next stream. Yeah, so take care. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas, and hopefully for, you know, like New Year's Eve, we can hopefully come up with some cool plans to do on, you know, next year. So yeah. So yeah, guys, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next stream. So bye.